Well, managing text in landscape design drawings can become a little tricky. The text that you see, or most of the text that you see in this design, is fairly stock standard CAD style lettering. If I pick the text garden here, it's a single line piece of text, and if you come over to the box on the left, it's in a style called standard. The contents are here, and if you want to edit the contents, you just double click and change in this point here. So to create your own style, you'd go Format and Text Styles, and let's say you were wanting to create a particular style of lettering that fits your design practice. And we'll pick a new one, and the first thing that pops up, or your first choice, is to set a style, and the style consists of a name and then a font. So if I click under Simplex, Simplex is one of the built-in fonts in a gCADPlus environment, and notice in the list that you see here there's a green band across the top. They're the fonts that are already loaded in this drawing and are available to me. Notice the little divider symbol alongside each of the CAD fonts. That symbol denotes CAD font. CAD fonts will print very quickly, they'll be very crisp, but also note there are some Windows fonts already loaded in this drawing. I've loaded them earlier, and I'm going to load a new one now. And so remember, we've said File and New. We're just selecting a new font. So I can pick either a CAD font, or I can scroll down here and pick a Windows font. Now, Bradley Hand is a common one used by people in the Windows environment. So now we're going to say, in the gCADPlus drawing environment, we're going to create a style we'll call My Practice. And don't forget to hit Enter at this point. So the style name My Practice is going to use the Bradley Hand font. Now you have a choice here of controlling some of the characteristics of the font. You get a little preview here. It's sort of obviously a hand-lettered font. I'm in the habit of setting the fixed height to a value that would be commonly used in landscape design work in the metric environment. You'd set a height of maybe 2.5 or 1.8 or something like that for the USA environment. You can also change, and I'll hit Enter to burn it in, and we've also got a width. We could make it just a little bit narrower, 0.9, and you could even have a slight obliquing angle on it of maybe 10 degrees, and we don't want it upside down or back to front or whatever. The refs column tells us how often that text has been used, that style rather, has been used in the drawing. And notice that a green tick alongside the word standard, it's the current style. It uses a Simplex font, which is a CAD font. So I'll hit Enter. We can set My Practice now as the current drawing style. So we can say I'll go to Draw, and Text, single line text, text in My Practice, and we'll pop it down. And as we pop it down, maybe we zoom in a little, there it goes. And I can overwrite and specify the text type, but if I just hit Enter and Enter again, and we select it, see it's got that slight slope on it. Its height is controlled by style, so it's the height that we set in the style. So there's one particular lettering style that might work for you in your environment. if you've got a drawing like the one that you see in front of you, where the style standard has been used, and if we go back to the drop down, text style standard, you remember uses the simplex font, a CAD font, and let's say we want to see what this drawing would look like if we changed our style. There's a very easy way to do it. We could say we'll pick simplex and we'll set simplex now to Bradley and ITC, and we'll OK it. What that will do is redefine the style standard and use the Windows font, and there we are. So we have replaced our standard font with our hand lettered font, and I'm not convinced that that's a particularly nice font, and I've got some others here. So let's go Format, Text Styles, and let's try Sego Print, a little bit darker I think. Format, try that again. Text Styles, I want to change the standard to Sego Print, and OK that. Now can you see the font has changed, and still a hand lettered font, but to my mind looks quite nice. These Windows fonts of course are dependent on ones you've loaded in your particular computer, and names don't mean a lot. I rather like that one, but if I go to Format and Text Styles and set standard to another Sego Ultra Light and OK that, it's a very different style, even though it's got a very similar name. Notice that here you have two pieces of text, all each drawn with the text command. But don't forget that you can draw and pick multi-line text and specify a corner like so, and we could say this is some text drawn using multi-line text. We can hit enter and move down a line, and enter it, and in goes the text. That text can be moved and positioned quite easily. So it's all drawn in the current font. We pick it, we've got some ability to alter things over here in the properties box. We've got a line spacing, well, we know we've got a line in there, so let's just edit it and come back here and use our backspace and do that. Now it's just a single block of text. We could change the line editor spacing when we've got multiple lines, but the advantage of this is you can widen the column and you can see the text moves around. So I hope you can see that handling text in gCADPlus drawings can be, there's some very powerful tools, and we've demonstrated a few of them. Single line text, multi-line text. You can also draw